That's a nice win by your Philadelphia Phillies, and you see how things turn on a dime in baseball. They had lost 5 of their last 7 going in. Now they've won 2 of 3. Ricky Pitalico, I'm Michael Barkan. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ben Davis in a moment from Minneapolis. Ricky Bo. Yeah. First off, Zack Wheeler, we got to give him his props.
Awesome.
Pitching for the first time in 2 weeks. And you just heard Brandon Marsh say he's the GOAT. And you know what? Pitching like it.
Let me put it this way.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little excited. Last night we looked at Ranger Suarez, and we needed some kind of a sign. We didn't really get one. That's
correct?
For you and I, that's how we kind of felt. And when I looked at Zack Wheeler go out there tonight, I thought in the first inning he was trying to find himself a little bit. The batters were fighting him in that first inning. All of a sudden, he kind of got into a groove. And it's really amazing because when you think of Zack Wheeler, the one thing you think about is all around that zone. He was all around that thing tonight. I mean, the other thing is I said pregame, watch for that split. Watch, see if we see some splits. We saw plenty of them tonight. He was on top of those. They had some really good movement late. I just think everything he was throwing up there, he was throwing crisp. He was throwing the ball hard. He was moving it both sides of the plate. He was going up top when he needed to. It was just one of those games where it was vintage Zack Wheeler. So I think we're back.
Were you surprised at the 107 pitch total?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely in the sense that Ranger was on an 85 pitch rope yesterday. So you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, how many is he going to give Zack Wheeler? And we heard up to 100, right? 95 to 100. He gets the 95. He's blown by that all the way to 107. Probably not the greatest thing in the world, but you know what? He was dealing.
He seemed no worse for the wear. Let's check in with Ben Davis in Minneapolis. Called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. Ben, a 3-run ninth for the Philadelphia Phillies. Looked great. So did Zack Wheeler. And I'll tell you, I was worried about this kid, this rookie, Simeon Woods Richardson, and he dealt tonight. None of the Phillies had faced him before, but they held on. They got their runs where they could.
Yeah, it was just a good team effort. And I'll start with Zack Wheeler tonight. He was awesome. You know what? That first inning was a lot of pitches, 23 pitches, but he really settled down and talk about staying off the barrels. 7 punch-outs, just the 2 walks. He was phenomenal, exactly what the Phillies needed tonight. I'm just happy that physically he looks like he's fine and felt fine. Obviously, Topper let him go back out there for that 7th inning, but he put this team in a great position to win. The guys come up with some big knocks there in that 9th inning. I love the situational hitting by Marsh, and then the big 2-out knock by Castellanos. That was huge because you can't take anything for granted, especially the way the Phillies haven't swung the bats well. That's on this road trip, and able to get that win tonight, that was huge, and we'll see if they can win the series tomorrow.
Ben, I mean, how are we supposed to take this offense right now? I mean, we watched them fail for 8 innings tonight, and then, of course, Bryce Harper has to get in the mix with a double to start things off. And then you get a couple clutch hit or a couple good piece of hitting in that inning. But, for this whole road trip has been a struggle. What are you noticing as a whole that you feel like they're doing right or wrong?
I think some guys are a little anxious right now, Ricky, and I'm not saying we know this is a very aggressive hitting ball club, but it doesn't. You get 3 strikes for a reason, and it just seems like these guys, if they get a pitch, they're having at it, and maybe it's not their pitch, maybe it is a strike, but maybe it's not their strike. And I think as the game went on, you started to see, especially that 9th inning. I mean, they made Duran work, and that guy is not easy to face. And the Phillies were able to go out there and string a couple knocks together, a couple walks. It just seems like they just really kind of focused that much more because it was a lot better. I just wish they would stay a little bit more gap to gap in the middle of the diamond. And I said it a couple times. I didn't mean to just keep shooting a dead horse, but this is something that the right-handers. Woods Richardson didn't make one attempt, not one, to throw anything on the inside part of the plate. If I was a right-handed hitter, I'd have been diving out over that plate, make him challenge me something on the inside of the plate. But the Phillies they kept giving up that outside part of the plate. He kept going out there with the fastball, with the slider, with the curveball. From that aspect, I would like to see maybe a couple more adjustments made throughout the course of the game. They didn't make it. Ultimately, it didn't hurt them, but I think it's something that maybe they could look at down the road.
We keep wondering when they're going to turn the corner and kind of leave their blues behind them. They took the last one at Pittsburgh. They lost yesterday, and now they have an opportunity. They actually staved off a third straight series loss tonight, and hopefully they'll do the same tomorrow and win their first series since the Dodgers series, Ben. But that's a good team they beat tonight, even though it's missing some guys. They've got pitching. They've got clutch hitting. They're a really good team, Minnesota, aren't they?
They are a good ball club. They play good defense. Some of the arms that I've seen coming out of this bullpen are pretty good. You're looking at Jax tonight, Alcala. These guys are some big arms. I know they got the best of Duran tonight, but obviously what he's able to do. And I really like their starter tonight. That guy went out there and he competed, and I think he's going to be a good one. But they are missing some big pieces with Lewis on the shelf, and obviously Correa on the shelf with the plantar fasciitis. They do have some pieces here, and obviously pitching and defense wins. They have very good pitching, and they're throwing the leather around as well. All
right, we'll check you tomorrow. Aaron Nola on the mound against Chris Paddock as the Phillies try to take this series. Thanks, Benny. Always appreciate it. Ben Davis joining us from Target Field in Minneapolis. Ricky Bo, the Braves were rained out tonight, so the Phils extend their lead by a half game to 9.
Are you okay? You okay with that?
I am all right with it. I like it.
You should like it.
Believe me, I do. Mets at 11.5, and forget about the Nationals. But the Phillies now on pace for 103 wins, and I'll take that.
I'll say it. Marlins are bottom feeding.
I wasn't going to say it, but it was a rain out. When you look now at what this Phillies team did, they needed those runs, obviously. I didn't like what the stats said about where they might be headed in this ninth inning when they don't score after the eighth. But you know what? They pulled it out.
Well, I mean, when you think about this game, it was a pitcher's duel. You know, on both sides, Zack Wheeler was really good. And I think the Phillies fans could all breathe a sigh of relief. We're feeling better about what we saw from the ace of this staff. You know, when Richardson went out there, I thought in the first inning, I thought the Phillies had some guts. You know, they hit the ball hard. They hit 3 fly ball outs in the first inning. Schwarber's almost went out of the park again. I thought they had him timed up. I thought they really were going to kind of tee off on this guy. And then the next thing you know, like Marsh said, he kind of came up with a couple extra miles on his fastball. A lot of good movement down the zone too. So yeah, it was a tough battle. But what do you have to do in tough battles? You have to come out on top on both ends. And when you look at it, Jeff Hoffman did not have a good eighth inning. Soto comes in and finishes things off with a great play.
Yeah,
have you thought about that? I mean, because he looked awfully comfortable tonight on the mound. And JT looked pretty comfortable behind the plate with him out there.
Zack Wheeler, 2.70 ERA coming into tonight, 2.55 going out in 20 starts this season. The ERA leaders in the National League, Ronaldo Lopez in Atlanta, and then Wheeler, 2.55, Chris Sale, Shota Imanaga, and the Rangers Suarez and Christopher Sanchez. They look familiar.
Still there. Still there. Staying in there. But, I mean, those two guys have got to kind of turn it up a notch. I think Wheeler could do the old cruise control thing again and get to where he needs to be. I think Rangers really – I got to see something else. I really do. I like the way – I mean, I like that he came in yesterday's game and he hit his spots better, but I'm not seeing that conviction.
You noticed something about Zack Wheeler's swings and misses that said something to you about the way he's pitching.
I mean, I want you to just look at this. This is an interesting box because if you look at where all the pitches are, those pitches are mostly set up, and especially the four-seam fastballs. You see the four-seamers. I said he likes to go up top. Nothing is in the zone, though, which tells me that when he's releasing, they can't pick up on it. They're not picking up what pitches are coming. You see the splitter right there. He had 3 swings and misses on that. Now, you look at the purple pitches on the left-hand side of your screen. You're taking a good look at those, and you're saying to yourself, all right, where did those start? Those started middle. And that's what I'm talking about. They're coming out of his hand. They look like a pitch in the middle of the zone, falling out of the zone. You're getting a lot of swings and misses with pitches you don't even have to throw strikes with. That's how good he is right now. That's going to slow it down just enough where it's going to go into the outfield, but where everybody has to run for it. That's going to score 3 runs if that ball goes by Alec Bohm right there.
That was an inning that you wring yourself out after, because I thought they must have gotten 2 runs or so.
I was upstairs. I was losing my mind a little bit.
I was sitting right here. Oh my goodness, that was so huge. And of course, the Phillies score 3 runs in the top of the 9th and seal the deal with the win.
Yeah, they sealed it. I think the big thing there in the 9th inning, nobody's going to give the credit to Bryce Harper, but that's a huge at-bat. You already have 1 out in the inning where Trey Turner had already made an out. Bryce Harper comes up to the plate. He gets a breaking ball that just stays out over the plate, drives it to left field. All of a sudden, he put himself right into scoring position.
You get a feeling that they're coming out of their malaise.
I'm not playing this game.
Come on, play it a little bit.
I would love to play that game and say, oh, yeah, they're breaking out. There's no doubt about it. But what were the signs?
Signs were,
no, I'm asking you.
I'll tell you
what were the signs.
I'll tell you what
that
the signs were.
They had a good 9th inning. They had a good 9th inning.
The signs were bottom of the 8th. They get out of an inning that was a horrible inning.
Oh, you're talking have the tides turned?
Yeah, have the tides turned for this team.
I guess you could sit there and say you hope it did, but that is we're not on that pay scale whether that happens or not. I just look at it this way, that you know what, can they feel good about themselves right now? Yes. Do they have a day game tomorrow that they got to get ready for? Yeah, absolutely they do. And maybe their sleep is a lot better than the Twins tonight.
Let's hear from Rob Thomson, post-game in Minneapolis.
Did Wheeler even exceed your expectations tonight?
He really did. It's funny because it took 18 pitches to get through the first 2 hitters of the game, and he gives us 7 innings. So he settled right in. I thought he got better as the game went on. I thought his stuff was good. He held his velocity for the most part. Threw some good splits tonight. I thought he was really good.
He was 96, 97 right off the bat, so I imagine you were looking at him going, that's Wheeler, that's normal.
Yeah, and came out of it fine. Checking tomorrow, see how he's doing. But I talked to him after the 6th and I said, how do you feel? Because he was at like 87, 88 pitches. He said, I feel nothing, I feel good. I said, all right, well, you got about 15 pitches left. So I let him go a little bit more, just try and get him through the inning, and he did it. He did a great job. Unbelievable.
It was an offensive struggle for the first 8 innings, and then Bryce's ball kind of slices into the corner there. Do you feel like the mood kind of changes when that happens?
And it was kind of a little bit similar to last night. We hit some balls hard early in the game and then just kind of fell off. But then some great at-bats in the 9th, and Harp double, walk, sac fly, great at-bat by Marsh, and Casti hits the ball down in the right field corner. So really good at-bats in the 9th off a really good closer.
How encouraged are you with what Castellanos has been able to do? He had the terrible start, but really since mid-May, his numbers have been pretty solid.
Yeah, he's you got to figure by the end of it, he's going to be pretty close to what he normally does, and he's been working. He's been hitting early on the field almost every day, so he's working at it. Him and Rafi and K Long, and he cares, and it's showing that all the work that he's put in, that he's getting results now.
How good was that Bohm play to end the 8th?
Oh, it was great. Well, we made some great plays in all night long. There was the Rojas catch in the first, Castellanos with the sliding catch, Stott with a diving play at second base, Bohm with the game on the line in the 8th there, and makes that play to step on third base. It was great.
You're using Soto there with the platoon advantage. You kind of want to see how he handles those situations. Disappointing to see him now you throw a strike to the bat first.
Well, he's been throwing the ball so well, and I'll give him another opportunity or 2 because he's got that capability. He's just got to slow it down a little bit. I know they're not going to pinch hit for Kepler. They haven't pinch hit for him all year unless it's a blowout. So, it was left on left, and you want a lefty on Kepler, and has nothing to do with Hoffman. I have the utmost confidence in Hoffman. and I'm sure that he's going to get out of that. But we got to find out and give Soto some reps in that situation.
And now Strom's first save situation this year.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he could get more, ninth inning shots?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and once, Alvy's outing the last time was excellent, and we get a couple more of those, get his confidence back, or get his confidence up, and we're gonna have a really strong bullpen.
I was going to ask you about the bullpen. The command seems to be a little bit off with a few different guys recently.
Yeah.
Hot and cold, maybe more. How concerned are you about it?
A little bit, but not a lot. It's a really high mound here. It's a really different mound. It's very high, so I think they're still kind of knocking the rust off from the All-Star break. So I believe in these guys, and I know their track record. So I truly believe they're going to be fine.
No, I'm not saying it because Tom will get mad at us.
Tom will get no, but he did. Looked like
Was that Chase Utley?
Looked like Chase Utley.
Did
He
I say
really
that
did.
again?
The way
My
he snapped
goodness.
the throw off, the way he gathered his feet underneath him, planted and threw that ball. But the Trey Turner, and you would know better than anybody, the Trey Turner play where he's moving to his right,
Yep.
he's got to throw back to his left. It's one thing to get the ball, but then to have the strength to make the throw with that zip.
Yeah, momentum, whip, and good wrist work. I mean, really, that's what it really comes down to. It's the snap of your wrist at the end of the play to see if you can get a little bit more extra on it. As my dad used to say, a little bit more mustard on it.
Put a little mustard on that and good wrist work.
Absolutely.
You need the wrist work.
Got to be able to snap it.
Zack Wheeler post-game in the clubhouse.
Go Wheels.
Go Wheels.
Felt as good as I presume that you
I
felt?
wouldn't say encouraged, but I mean, I came out of it good and where I want to be, but I'm thankful for the defense today. They really picked me up. I was letting off. They were putting good swings on the ball earlier, and I was able to settle it down a little bit as I went on, but I think I found more of a rhythm, more of a groove, felt better, but defense picked me up early on and made some really good plays.
So it was exactly 2 weeks ago that you pitched last. At what point did you feel like what you were feeling was behind you? If you assuming you feel that way.
Yeah, no, it's probably just even warming up, honestly. So yeah, I mean, once you get out there and you're feeling good, you just go and worry about it later, or if something does pop up, you treat it out. But nothing was messing with me today, and I was encouraged by that. But yeah, I mean, it's good.
How many times did you throw off a mound in the last 2 weeks?
Once I think.
Do you think this break could, I know it was done for the but could it be beneficial in getting you to the rest of the way now, strong and ready to finish here?
Yeah, I mean, it's not what you want to do is miss a start, but sometimes it's best for me and the long run. And as I've gotten older, we put ourselves in a really good position as a team to be able to take a blow if we need it. If something's bothering us, we can take a blow if we need it. So, credit to the team for putting us in that situation where guys can get some days off or get off their feet a little bit, or miss a start if you need to. But obviously that's not what you want to do. But at the end of the day, it's what's best for us and the team in the long run.
Go ahead.
It was a big hit for Nick in the ninth inning there on the 101-mile-an-hour fastball. He started every game this year.
Yeah.
It was a grind from early. Can you kind of appreciate, what he's done to sort of pull himself out of that the last few months?
Yeah, I mean, it's just testament to him as a player. He's been around a while. He's had his ups and downs. He knows how to deal with certain situations, and we play in a tough market. So, I think him personality-wise, you gotta let that get into his head or his game really. He just nice and steady, and stepped up big for us. Bryce got us going that inning. Marshy did sack fly, and got some guys on. So it was cool to see.
The first inning, nine pitches, first batter, 9 pitches. Is anything running through your mind like, you got to be kidding me?
Yeah, of course. When I look up at the scoreboard, and it's already like 22 pitches. I remember that number for whatever reason. I guess that's when I looked up there. But yeah, I mean, coming back from a back thing and out there grinding right away, it's not what you want to do, but it is what it is. I was trying to figure myself out and get into a nice rhythm also. So.